There's the Charlamagne the God video, which is like going viral, I think, where Charlamagne, the #1 lib out there, popped off against Anderson Cooper. Let's watch that.
Her saying that she believes Donald Trump is a fascist got a lot of headlines because it was the first time she said it. She's been going along for days saying Mark Milley said he's a fascist. This person said this. You raised the question of authenticity in your interview with her, and that was an authentic moment where she says, yeah, I do think he's a fascist. And I think that's why it had a reaction. Donald Trump, he, for whatever you think about him, if you like him, if you hate him, he is certainly who he is. He's shown us who he is every single day.
Yeah, which is a fascist. And it's crazy because you still don't have news networks having that conversation.
I think Charlamagne is a lib, but he is right here. Controversial opinion, but mainstream media's coverage over Donald Trump, despite all of my criticisms of the Democratic Party, mainstream media's coverage over Donald Trump is so bad. It is objectively ridiculous. They literally treat him like a child. They're like, he doesn't know what he's saying. It's like, bro, come on, dude. You are literally normalizing the most psychopathic sentiment. And then in 4 years, the Democrats adopt it. Anyway, sometimes in less than 4 years.
Says when somebody questions Kamala Harris's blackness or is he a DEI hire, y'all will have roundtable discussions about that, asking that question. How come you're not having roundtable discussions asking, is Donald Trump a fascist? Actually, not even asking it, stating it. I mean, when you look at the things that he's talking about doing, jailing journalists, jailing his political opponents, turning the military on American citizens. The guy said he wanted to terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. How come that is not the topic of discussion on networks like CNN every day?
But do you think that, you were raising this with Kamala Harris about her own authenticity, about her own willingness to just, say things that aren't crafted. Do you think she needs to do more of that? Trump's going to go. Trump's going to go. Apparently, Trump's going on. Is going to tape a thing with Joe Rogan. Do you think she should do that?
Yes.
I think that she should keep calling Donald Trump a fascist, and I think that Americans need to keep looking at the rhetoric of.
I do think she should have gone on Joe Rogan. That was a major L. I think she should keep calling Donald Trump a fascist. She should not have adopted any of Trump's fascist policies. And that she should have separated herself from the Republican Party, which she is running against. She should also have separated herself from Joe Biden early on because she replaced him, obviously. A lot of mistakes. An unimaginable number of mistakes. Yeah, she was invited, and she said no, which is so stupid. Ugh.
Of Donald Trump, because I don't know why we're even thinking about electing somebody who's talking about putting people in camps. I don't know why why we want to elect somebody who's talking about mass deportation. I don't know why we're having this conversation about somebody who wants to terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. Aren't we supposed to be a patriotic country? Whenever somebody like Colin Kaepernick takes a knee in this country, everybody talks about, that's so unpatriotic. But a guy can say he wants to terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election and nobody cares. And like even me bringing it up now, you brought it back to Kamala and Joe Rogan. And
yeah.
Who gives a damn?
Well, I think you get.
Okay, he's cooking. Like, he's not wrong. Kamala is shitty as a candidate, but Charlamagne is right. Wait, she was invited and said no? I thought it was her team that was trying to make it happen. I thought that they said that she wouldn't do it. Am I wrong?
Give a damn who's elected president, and I'm asking you.
Am I wrong?
That's talking about putting.
I thought she canceled.
In camps. That's talking about once again terminating the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. That's talking about jailing his political opponents. Yeah. Like that rhetoric doesn't scare people.
Well, we talked about this every single. This is what
I don't think
I've been talking about this every night.
I don't think y'all have enough conversations about it. I feel like I heard more on this network about is Kamala Harris black than I do about Donald Trump being a fascist.
Well,
am I wrong, Angela?
Honestly, that's bullshit. I'm sorry.
Oh, I like that.
I'm not. Look, I'm a huge fan of yours.
Okay.
But to say that we're sitting around discussing is Kamala Harris black,
I've seen that. I've seen those roundtable discussions a lot. Now that's bullshit, Anderson. For you to say that y'all don't have those conversations.
I've never asked somebody is.
I'm not saying
Kamala
you.
Harris
I said the network.
He said the network.
I don't think anyone I don't think any anchor on this network has been going around saying, "Is she black?"
Y'all have never had
definitely.
We have had. Look, I'm sure we have had, nutty people or people who have strongly held beliefs who I may disagree with, who somewhere on some panel have said something, but.
Yeah.
I will just speak up for what I do on the show.
He's fucking eating him, dude.
I do believe it's important to get people different viewpoints as long as they're willing to have a legitimate conversation. What I don't like are surrogates who come out and just spout talking points that.
Oh, you don't like it. No. You don't like it because he's doing it at the behest of Kamala Harris, which goes back to his double standard argument, which is absolutely correct. You let Republican surrogates chirp on the goddamn platform every night, Anderson. I watch every night, Anderson. I see it every goddamn night. They literally they'll sometimes have two Republicans, okay? They won't even have a Democrat on the panel. They'll just have two Republicans that are like, what level of Hitlerian policy can we be conducting here? You got sometimes former Republicans versus current Republicans. It's all Republican. No, you just have an issue when it's a Kamala surrogate saying this. Put Anderson back in the hurricane. He was popping off. That was my favorite Anderson. When he was inside of the hurricane, that was funny as fuck.
And those are people I tried to eliminate from having ever on the air again.
I think no network has honest conversations about Donald Trump. Nobody's had honest conversations about Donald Trump since 2016. I saw last night they were talking about, the double standard that exists between Donald Trump and the vice president. But it's always a double standard with Trump, whether it's with Hillary, whether it's, against Biden, now with Kamala. We talk about him being a threat to democracy, but we don't treat him like one.
I don't know what you've been watching, but I don't know of any Trump supporters out there or people who like him who are tuning in to me every night to try to get, to be validated in their opinions. I don't know.
No, it's worse. It's worse. You're normalizing his opinions and his attitude to a otherwise liberal audience. That makes it worse. Your audience is libtarded, okay? And you're just still, you got these liberals and you're straight up hitting the wave with, you're hitting them with a wave of Trump normalization.
I don't know. I disagree.
I don't think it's about validating. What do you mean, validating the Trump?
Well, you're saying that we're not, that I guess you're saying I'm not discussing all the things he is saying and doing and pointing it out. And
also his coverage does end up making it to Fox News when they just chirp. When they chirp like this, Fox News does play it the next day. So he's wrong on that. He's like, yeah, maybe they're not tuning into CNN, but they're still watching it. Yeah, they're watching it when Fox 5 puts it up and goes, see, even these stupid liberals also hate Kamala Harris and love Donald Trump. They think Donald Trump is the best. That happens every day.
And talking to, what John Kelly, this has been discussed. There's nobody, let me just say, there is nobody on the planet who has not heard and seen pretty much everything Donald Trump has said and knows.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Whether they believe it or not, whether they care or not.
When the vice president said that to you last night, she said, I don't think enough people know. I 100% believe enough people have not heard his rhetoric. What do you think, Angela?
I was just about to say, can y'all tag me in? I'm never doing this with y'all ever again.
Angela, yes. It's the problem of being on satellite. Yes.
I know,
please,
it is the problem. No, I was just going to say, I think what you're saying is fair, that there have been roundtable discussions where y'all raised this. I think the problem is it would be nice for, you to cut to camera and say, I'm looking right here, right now. Y'all, Kamala Harris is a black woman. Right, let's move right along.
Yeah,
but I was going to say, to your colleague's credit, Jake, right after the town hall yesterday, he said that you all had the opportunity to critique what Kamala Harris' policy proposals were, what her positions were, what her recommendations were, whether or not she answered her question fair enough, because, ta-da, she's the only one that showed up for the town hall. Yeah. It was supposed to be a debate. He said that. I think that the point is we don't hear those things enough, and it has been a threat. We cannot say, Kamala is going on with Joe Rogan, Donald Trump is going on with Joe Rogan, but Kamala's choosing Club Shay Shay. Debate it. It's like, what is he going to say when he goes on?
Here's what I've been saying, which is it is a double standard because Kamala Harris has policies and she talks about her policies. And you may think she doesn't talk in detail enough about her policies, and plenty do. And I pushed her on that last night. I quiz. I try to look at the policies from different, but she's got stated policies and you can look them up Donald Trump does not have policies.
Oh,
And
there you
Concepts of
go.
a
That's
plan.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and we say, I mean, this is nothing new. We talk about this all the time. He
Yeah. A lot of
doesn't
ti-
have,
I agree
he
with
does
you.
not have, his policy, in 2016, his policy for Iraq was taking Iraq's oil by using U.S. soldiers to surround the oil fields
That's right.
and extract the oil somehow and bring it to America. I mean, literally, and I was like, that's not a thing. So that's been going on now. That's what
What you just
nobody,
did. What you just did is what I would like to hear more pundits do.
That's
because
1 second.
A lot of times we ask,
But
he's
ask
the host.
answers.
All right,
Like
but
we say,
let me-
we
right,
say
but-
things like,
but let me
"Do
tell
you
you-
think Donald Trump is a fascist?" Like I think we kind of got enough
you know
evidence
what?
to know that answer.
I'm not a pundit. I'm not
host.
interested. I don't think my opinion is particularly interesting for viewers out there. I'm interested in
I
people.
disagree.
Well, okay, you can quibble with it.
disagree with that too,
You can
Anderson.
quibble with it. But I believe in asking questions and probing people's arguments and trying to reveal people's arguments, what's true and what's not. And I'm not on MSNBC for a reason. I'm not on some other network for a reason. I'm on CNN because I want to talk to Republicans. I want to talk to Democrats. And I want to learn from them. I don't think I have the answers. I'm willing to change my mind. People can convince me of stuff all the time. I'm not I don't even know why I'm talking about myself. I don't even know what I'm talking about myself.
No, but Anderson,
But my point
I want
is,
to tell you this.
I think what we're doing here is important because
It
I
is
do
so
think in this
important.
country where, you know what?
What is Anderson Cooper if he's not a pundit? Like, this is the first time I've heard him say he's not a pundit. Does he say he's a reporter? Last time he did reporting was when he was directly in the hurricane, and we saw what his reporting capabilities were. It's like, this water is very wet, is what he reported. He straight up was like, water everywhere, very wet.
Not so many. I don't look at comments about myself, but I was looking up some comments about my grief podcast, and I came across this whole inundation from people who are Harris supporters saying to me online today, like, how dare you, what a betrayal that you would ask her these questions.
No,
and
you
I'm
did your
like,
job.
you misunderstand.
I don't have an issue with him asking those questions to Kamala Harris, but having said that, CNN's coverage throughout this entire process has been insane.
My job is. I'm not on MSNBC, and no disrespect. What they do is they're very talented, but I don't watch it. I'm not interested in watching what these overpaid, blow-dried anchors think, and I include myself in that.
Damn, he's just shitting on MSNBC. He's duking on him. Hey, yo, chill. I got to defend Chris Hayes. He's a Hasanabi head reply guy. I will be defending Chris Hayes, okay? I am a fedayeen for him.
Overpaid, blow-dried, although I don't blow-dry. I am overpaid. But I'm not interested in the anchor's opinion. I'm interested in facts and letting the viewers make up their own mind. So anyway, I'm sorry this devolved into something else, but this is
I like
fascinating.
that you said that, but I will just say in this moment, some of what we're talking about tonight, Anderson, is not actually an opinion at all. It is just the facts. And you are one of the most trusted voices on television. And it is important in those moments where you know those
Is he, though?
conversations devolve into nonsense, particularly on the other side of the aisle.
right.
They're conspiracy theory. They won't even say her name right. That has to be checked in the moment because that is what fascism looks like. That is how we start sliding down a very slippery slope, and we cannot afford to be here. The election is 12 days away, and this should not be even what is on the ballot, but democracy's on the line. That is not a partisan issue. It is the truth. And I think that's what's important for cable news networks in particular to be saying,